Have you not been loyal?
I thought I'd been loyal, and I thought Christine had been loyal, but apparently we're not loyal enough or something.
Do you believe that Robyn is the favorite wife?
They thought she was the quiet one. They thought she'd vanish in the background, tucked away in an RV while they built empires on her sweat, her sacrifices, and her funds. But what Kody and Robyn never expected was that the quiet one would rise. And when Janelle finally stood up, she didn't just reclaim her voice. She reached out and ripped back everything they had built off her silence. The courtroom didn't just witness a trial that morning. It witnessed the rebirth of Janelle Brown. It was a gloomy Monday in Flagstaff, the kind of day where the clouds hang low, pressing against the town like a bad omen. Inside the courthouse, the air was thick. Reporters packed the aisles, fans leaned forward from the gallery, and family members shifted uncomfortably in their seats. The entire Sister Wives universe was holding its breath. Then came the sound, the sharp bang of the gavel. The judge leaned forward, her eyes blazing with something far beyond routine procedure. And then she spoke the words that would shake reality TV, the Brown family, and Janelle's life forever. This court orders Kody Brown and Robyn Brown to pay Janelle Brown $2, $4 million in restitution and damages, immediately. The words sliced through the courtroom like thunder. Robyn gasped so hard her mascara streaked instantly, eyes bulging as she clutched Kody's arm with trembling hands. Kody, the man who had spent decades parading as the swaggering patriarch, suddenly looked cornered, small, like a man whose empire had collapsed under his feet. And Janelle? She sat frozen, not triumphant, not vengeful, just stunned. She had prayed for this moment, dreamt of justice, imagined 1,000 ways it might arrive, but when it came crashing down on her like a tidal wave, she was paralyzed. Her attorney leaned close, a soft but firm whisper. "You won, Janelle. You did it." Christine, in the gallery, squeezed her eyes shut and covered her face, her shoulders, shaking. Mary sat stiff, lips parted but unreadable, every wrinkle of her face betraying shock. The tension in the room was so heavy it felt alive, pulsing with betrayal, broken bonds, and years of sisterhood poisoned by greed. This wasn't just a legal case. It was a war that had been boiling under the surface for over a decade. A war fought with smiles for the cameras and polite confessionals, while the real story, favoritism, manipulation, and financial betrayal, festered behind the scenes. For years, Kody wore the mask of protector and provider. He stood tall, in interviews spun tales of equality and love, painted himself as the glue holding it all together. But behind the lights, behind the edited episodes, there was rot. A crumbling empire held together by deception, money funneled one way, and loyalty demanded without return. And Janelle, she had been silent. She had been patient. She had been the peacemaker, the one who budgeted when times were tough, the one who stretched every dollar to feed the kids while Kody bought dreams for Robyn. She had swallowed her words. While Robyn collected houses, cars, and luxuries, she wasn't blind. None of them were. But speaking up meant risking everything. And Janelle, for years, chose silence, until the day silence was no longer survival. The courtroom had gone quiet before, but nothing compared to this. The screen flickered with a figure so staggering, so undeniable, that even the strongest voices in the room collapsed into silence. $2,137,291. 24. That was the sum that Kody, Brown, and Robyn had kept tucked away in the shadows. Not a rumor, not speculation. Cold, hard numbers. The hush that followed was suffocating. Reporters froze, their pens hovering. Spectators leaned forward, wide-eyed. Even phones stopped buzzing, as though the world itself had paused to let the number breathe. Kody turned his head away, jaw clenched, his confidence slipping like sand, through his fingers. Robyn broke down yet again, mascara dripping like ink stains on paper, her sobs echoing faintly through the hall. But this time, the tears didn't stir compassion. They felt hollow, rehearsed, powerless against the evidence glowing on the wall. And then came the blow from Janelle's attorney. His voice was calm, but each word landed like a hammer against Kody's empire. This is not jealousy. This is not about polygamy. This is about betrayal. One woman carried the burdens, raised the children, built the brand, and trusted her husband. And what did he do? He carved her out of existence. He gave her silence in return for sacrifice. He took care of himself. Gasps rippled across the gallery. A reporter's pen finally scratched against paper. A camera clicked. But Kody remained still, shoulders hunched, his eyes refusing to meet anyone's gaze. The judge's pen tapped once against the bench. Her tone was sharp. "Are the accounts still open?" "Yes, Your Honor." "Are the funds still present?" The attorney nodded. "As of last month, $2, $1 million remained, but some was already moved." The judge leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. Moved where? The answer detonated like dynamite. Into a private real estate holding, and into a trust, both in Robyn Brown's name, established just 6 months ago. Without Janelle's knowledge. The courtroom erupted. Spectators gasped. Reporters scribbled frantically. Even the bailiff shifted uncomfortably. But the judge didn't blink. She lowered her pen, her voice like steel. "This court will consider not just civil restitution, but referral for additional financial investigation." The word investigation thundered through the chamber. Suddenly, Kody and Robyn weren't just facing embarrassment. They were staring down the possibility of criminal charges. Betrayal laid bare. Outside the courthouse, chaos reigned. Reporters swarmed. Live streamers shouted into their phones. Twitter hashtags surged. "Justice for Janelle," "Expose Kody," Robyn revealed. But inside, Janelle sat utterly still. Her heart pounded, but her face was calm, almost serene. This wasn't vengeance. This was awakening. For years, she had whispered the truth, only to be silenced. Now the truth roared for her, louder than Kody ever had. The next morning, the silence that wrapped the courthouse felt different. It wasn't anticipation. It was realization. The world had thought they knew the Browns. Kody, the strong patriarch, Robyn, the loyal wife, Janelle, the quiet helper, Christine, the dramatic rebel. But now, that illusion was shattered. The family brand was being dismantled not by reality TV edits or tabloids, but by testimony, bank records, and a paper trail that could no longer be erased. When Christine walked into the courtroom, flanked by her daughters, heads high, the energy shifted. This wasn't just a trial anymore. It was a reckoning. Betrayal wasn't whispered behind closed doors anymore. It was broadcast, documented, undeniable. Kody slouched at the defense table, Robyn clutching his arm like a lifeline. Christine looked at him not with anger, not with pity, but with finality, like someone glancing at the last page of a burned book. Christine speaks. The court permitted. Each ex-wife a brief statement about their experience with the family trust. Mary remained silent, her motives unreadable. But Christine rose. Her voice wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. "I didn't come here to hurt Kody. I came here because I watched Janelle sacrifice everything, her comfort, her savings, her dreams, just to keep this family alive. I watched her stretch groceries while Kody and Robyn lived in houses, full of luxuries bought with family money. I remember when she moved into an RV because we were told the family was broke. But not once did Kody or Robyn sell their home. Not once did they invite her in." Christine's voice broke, but she didn't cry. Her words were stronger than tears. "I never saw a statement. I never had an account. Everything was oral. Everything was trust me. And now we know the truth. It wasn't trust. It was hoarding. And I cannot stand by while Janelle, the very woman who managed our finances and carried our burdens, is left with nothing." The courtroom hummed. Kody wouldn't meet her eyes. Robyn stared at her folded hands. Christine stepped down, tears unshed, and clasped Janelle's hand. The gallery erupted online. TikTok live streams clipped the moment. YouTube channels replayed it, blogs quoted it within minutes. Christine's words were everywhere, spreading like wildfire. The children rise. But the next speaker shocked even the judge. Gabriel Brown, Janelle's son, requested to make a statement. He stood tall, his voice steady but raw. I was raised to believe we were one family, but when I got older, I saw cracks. I saw my mom worrying about groceries while Robyn bought a new SUV. I saw my brother wait months for dental care while a home theater appeared at Robyn's house. And I asked Dad why. He told me we were broke, but we weren't broke. The money was there, just not for us. Gasps filled the room. Even the court clerks shifted uncomfortably. Gabe turned, looking directly at Kody. You always told us to protect the family, but you weren't protecting the family. You were protecting yourself, and your piece of it. The words landed like a hammer. Kody's face flushed. Robyn wept silently, and Gabe returned to his seat, his mother's hand waiting for his. This wasn't just testimony. This was a son dismantling his father in front of the world. The judge loses patience. By session 7, the judge had reached her breaking point. No more excuses, no more sob stories. She looked directly at Kody and Robyn, her voice clipped and surgical. This is not confusion. This is not miscommunication. This is intentional, systematic exclusion of Janelle Brown from finances publicly touted as communal. You hid behind plural marriage while orchestrating economic disenfranchisement. That is exploitation. Robyn whimpered. Kody shifted uneasily. The judge raised her hand, silencing them. Mr. Brown, for 10 years, you wielded emotional power to deny access, control property, and manipulate ownership. That is not leadership. That is financial abuse. The word abuse landed like a death sentence. The gallery erupted in whispers. Kody blanched, stammering. Financial abuse? I was trying to protect. Protect who? The judge snapped. Yourself? Because you weren't protecting the wives who lived in RVs while you renovated mansions. You weren't protecting the children who went without while you and Robyn thrived. You weren't protecting the woman who gave you her life. The gavel slammed. Silence. Assets frozen. The judge wasn't finished. This court issues a preliminary injunction freezing all assets under any LLC, trust, or private account held by Kody or Robyn Brown, effective immediately. Robyn gasped audibly. Kody's fists clenched. The gallery cheered softly before being silenced by the gavel again. The judge continued. A forensic auditor will review every financial record since 2010. If additional concealment is uncovered, this case will be forwarded to state financial crimes. Reporters nearly fell over themselves to send breaking news. Alerts. Financial abuse declared. Assets frozen. Possible criminal referral. Robyn wept openly. Kody slumped, the mask of patriarch utterly destroyed. And then came the line that made headlines across the world. The court sees through you. The public is not fooled. This court will no longer allow religion to be used as a cloak for greed. The gavel slammed once more. The fallout. Outside, chaos exploded. Hashtags trended worldwide. Financial abuse, freeze Kody, justice for Janelle. CNN, NBC, BBC. Every outlet ran the story. Commentators debated how a reality TV patriarch had become the symbol of financial manipulation. Even TLC scrambled, production was halted, sponsors withdrew. Rumors spread that streaming giants were circling Janelle and Christine for a docuseries titled Unfiltered: The Real Wives Behind the Empire. Then came the leak. A video posted by an anonymous account, Truth from Inside. It showed Kody and Robyn in a private home, laughing about dodging tax audits and mocking Janelle's attempts to access Vegas property equity. She still thinks she has a vote, Robyn chuckled, sipping wine. Kody smirked. Let her ask. She'll never see a penny. The clip went viral. 14 million views in 6 hours. The internet exploded with fury. Fans cried betrayal. Former crew members came forward, admitting scenes had been cut to protect Robyn's image. Reddit lit up with threads titled, The Lie We Watched for 17 Seasons. For the first time, the viewers didn't feel manipulated by the wives. They felt manipulated by Kody and Robyn, and by the show itself. Judgment Day. By session 8, the judge announced the updated figure, $2 and $7 million in damages, penalties, and restitution. Kody's face twisted in disbelief. Robyn nearly collapsed, but Janelle didn't flinch. She had stopped reacting long ago. This wasn't her breaking point. That had been years ago, in a lonely RV in the Arizona desert. This was her rebuilding point. The judge's final words sealed it. Mr. and Mrs. Brown have 30 days to liquidate assets or place properties for sale. Any defiance will result in sanctions, and this court will not hesitate to escalate matters further. Christine smiled softly from the gallery. Janelle's lawyer closed with the perfect line. This case is not about money. It is about dignity. It is about a woman silenced for decades, finally heard. The court has its numbers, but the world has the story. And when Janelle walked out of that courthouse, the crowd erupted. Cameras flashed, supporters chanted. Her children held her hands. A reporter shouted, "Janelle, how do you feel?" She turned, sunlight catching her face, and whispered words that would appear on t-shirts, TikToks, and headlines across the world. "I lost years, but I won myself." She pressed record, breathed in, and chose the quietest weapon a woman can wield, her voice. "I stayed silent for 20 years because I thought silence kept the peace," she said, looking straight into the lens. "But silence only turned me invisible." The line didn't explode. It expanded, like a wave that rolls in slow and endless, until everything it touches is wet with truth. There was no theme music, no TV edit, no confessional lighting. Just Janelle in a small living room, daylight. On her shoulder, speaking like someone who had finally stepped back into her own body. Not an ex-wife, not a reality character. A woman taking the narrative pen from the hand that kept scribbling her out. "I didn't bring this case to ruin Kody," she continued, voice steady. "I brought it so I could look my children in the eyes and say, when I realized we were being erased, I did something." The internet leaned in. Comments burst like, "Popcorn. We see you now. You are not invisible. The strongest wife." But Janelle wasn't fishing for praise. She was laying out a record no editor could clip. Nights no camera filmed where she cried in parking lots because gas money didn't exist. Days where her adult kids slipped her grocery cash while, 2 streets away, a second living room was being redecorated with family funds. The Christmas of homemade gifts because the budget is tight, followed by receipts for designer handbags. On the shared card, "It's not the money," she said softly. "It's how easily I was expected to be fine with having nothing." She paused, as if laying a flower on the grave of the person who once believed endurance was the only language of love. "I thought being quiet made me noble, but quiet made me disappear. And when you disappear, people take from you like you're not even there." For 15 more minutes, she unloaded the moments that never aired. Legal paperwork she was never shown. A co-signed business account where her own card declined because her name had been quietly removed. Dozens of requests for statements answered with the same lullaby. "Don't worry, Kody has it handled." Then the part that detonated whatever sympathy remained for Kody and Robyn. During the season, she and her kids rationed heat in a metal RV. Shared funds were covering more than $7,000 a month in utilities at Robyn's house, plus private cleaners, landscaping, security monitoring. "When I confronted him," she said, "he told me I was being dramatic, that it was temporary logistics." Her lips lifted, not in sarcasm, but in resurrection. Nothing about it was temporary. It was a permanent decision I didn't want to see. She leaned closer to the lens. "I'm not bitter. I'm awake." Then the closing. The line that would be printed on shirts, whispered in bathrooms, texted to sisters at midnight. "Love without access is control. Trust without transparency is abuse." A faint smile. "And I'm done with both." Fade to black. 5 million views in 2 hours. 20 million by morning. Therapists stitched the clip into explainers on financial abuse. Survivors stitched it into courage. Celebrities amplified it. The hashtag ignited. I am Janelle. A chorus of women posting. Screenshots of bank apps and budgets, of names added to titles, of passwords shared at last. It wasn't a video anymore. It was a firewall, and thousands of lives were rerouting through it. TLC blinked. A statement floated out. The franchise's future was being restructured. Translation the audience instantly read. Kody and Robyn, out. Rumors sprinted ahead of the ink, an immediate docuseries circling Janelle and Christine, titled like a reclamation, Reclaimed. And in court, the video arrived with the judge, printed, underlined, present. Unofficial evidence, she said, but a cultural exhibit all the same. She looked down at Kody, then up again like a lighthouse beam. I hope you heard her. The world did. Robyn's chin hid behind folded hands. Kody sat red-faced, jaw working through a script that suddenly had no lines for him. Janelle had rewritten the form. The camera that once served as cage now swung open as witness. The internet burned all day. Session 10 promised distribution, compliance, closure. Instead, Kody opened his phone and lit a match under his own dynasty. Instagram Live. In the truck. Rain like static. Eyes bloodshot. Hair wild. I won't let cancel culture destroy my family. He snapped to a live chat that swelled past 10,000, then 60, then 100. Janelle knew how this worked. She saw the spreadsheets. 2 minutes later, I did it all because nobody else would. I had to control it. The chat went feral. So she knew or she didn't. Pick a lane. Did you just confess to control? He kept talking. Robyn didn't steal anything. She's demonized because I love her. Then the fuse line. If I had to do it all again, I wouldn't change a thing. That sentence didn't trend in admiration. It trended like a siren. Legal commentators clipped it into exhibits. Therapists slowed it into case study. Former defenders unfollowed in clusters, nauseated by the arrogance. Janelle's attorneys moved within the hour. Emergency motion to admit the live stream. Granted. The court watched Kody indict Kody in 1080p. Mr. Brown, the judge said when the clip ended, this goes to character and credibility. For your sake, stop speaking. Publicly. He posted again the next day. Walls of text accusing the judge of bias, Janelle of manipulation, fans of treason. His children answered in a new language. One-word posts and quiet unfollows. Embarrassing, tweeted Garrison. Dad, stop, wrote Savannah. I won't stand up for him anymore. Peyton filmed, weary and final. TLC issued the cleanest cut a network can make. Distance. Sponsors quietly scooted chairs. Kody's public appearances dissolved into emails that began with, unfortunately. But his real bankruptcy wasn't financial. It was relational. A leaked group text from adult kids read like a coronial note for a family brand. He chose the camera over the kids, over mom, over all of us. Then came enforcement, the moment consequence stops being paper and becomes a locksmith. We're entering the phase of enforcement, the judge announced. A court-appointed financial executive rose with the math. The $2.7 million due to Janelle existed, in accounts, properties, streams, and a luxury trust ring fenced in Robyn's name. Are you taking my house? Robyn whispered, a sound like glass underfoot. The court isn't taking anything, the judge replied. Restitution is returning what was taken. A lien slid onto the Flagstaff mansion. 21 days to sell or satisfy. Streaming revenue redirected to Janelle's trust until the judgment cleared. Vehicles valued. One luxury SUV surrendered. That money was for retirement, Robyn sputtered. For the children. You were supposed to share it, the judge said. You didn't. Now the law will. The headlines wrote themselves. Court lists, Kody and Robyn's mansion, revenue redirected to Janelle. The memes wrote themselves too. A gavel smashing a glittering house like a snow globe. But the court's last edge was policy sharp. This bench freezes pending and future book deals, endorsements, and media projects involving Kody and Robyn, unless 40% of proceeds are contractually directed to Mrs. Brown until full satisfaction. Robyn screamed. No mascara left to smudge, only a raw sound the cameras never captured when she ran the confessional chair. Kody didn't move at all. For the first time, the performance emptied out of him. No posture, no smirk, only a man sitting inside the consequences he built. Then the turn nobody predicted. Lunch recess ended. Mary walked to the center aisle in black like a verdict, and asked to reopen the original trust agreements. "I think I was set aside too," she said. "Not to Kody, but to history." He begged. "Mary, not you." And she didn't blink. "You did this," she said, "to all of us." The court allowed a formal review.